Hey guys, Chuck here. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. I just needed to let you know I got to do a voiceover on the video I'm about to show you because my wireless mic that I tried something new with today, apparently I didn't have it connected to the camera right. So, what I'm going to share with you guys today is my Cuban false chameleons, and I am going to be showing you how I get Gimli and Bella, my adult breeding pair, um, to hand feed off of Repashy Grub Pie. And let's go ahead and get started, and then I'll explain to you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it as we go through, and then I'll show you the other false chameleons that I have in my collection at the moment. So here I just took Gimli out of his enclosure and just talking about a little bit how awesome he is. And clearly you can see the hemipenal bulges, but he also has the two telltale post anal scales underneath his tail by his cloaca. And that's how you can sex these guys. I did a whole video on that a little bit earlier in the year, not this year, last year. Um, so, for whatever reason, both Gimli and Bella have kind of gone off feed on me for some reason. And by that I mean I dish feed them insects, superworms primarily, but I also put crickets in their enclosure. And typically they take care of everything in the dish. And lately, they haven't been eating anything out of the dishes. So I certainly want to make sure they have all of the nutrition and nutrients they need to be healthy. So about every other day, or maybe every 3 days, I will hand feed them, and I've been doing that for several weeks now. Uh, as I mentioned earlier, this product that we're using now is Repashy Grub Pie. The grubs are soldier fly larvae, and uh, I don't I don't think I have any animals that do not eat this stuff. It stinks. Somebody said it smelled like chocolate. I won't say her name, Lisa, but my wife says it stinks. Everybody says it stinks, but the lizards, the night anoles, my Honduran spine-tailed iguanas, these guys all seem to love it, or at least tolerate it, and don't spit it out when they try to bite it. So uh, I'm not gripping him hard. I wish I could remember what I was saying in some of this, but I'm just letting him treadmill there. Just go through my hands, and my goal is to try to get him to eat at least a couple chunks of the grub pie. I think I'm also talking a little bit about how a couple years ago, I think I shared with everybody his underneath his throat was swollen for some reason, and I took him to the vet and gave him they prescribed him antibiotics and anti-inflammatory medication. Didn't seem to help any, didn't go away, and then it kind of resolved itself on its own. His throat right now is not swollen. He's got a mouthful of grub pie, but whatever the lump was, it seemed to have resolved on its own, which I'm very, very happy for because he is an awesome lizard. But I don't know if you guys look over your right, my left shoulder. There's the new puppy. No, she just went away. So yeah, what I'm doing is I'm kind of rubbing between his upper jaw and his lower jaw, and that's sort of a technique that I do with all of the anoles. And the goal is to try to elicit a bite response. And so once they bite, if they like what they've bit onto and they know it's food, then they're going to swallow away. So now I'm getting up, creaking as I do, and I'm going to get Bella out. Now, Bella is a little bit more concerning than Gimli is because she's awful thin, and I hand feed her more often than I do Gimli, and that's what I'm talking about right now. I don't know if you can really see, but her tailbones are there. She's otherwise healthy. She's just very thin, and she's the one producing eggs. So I need to make sure she has all of the nutrients, all of the calcium to produce strong, viable eggs, but as well as to maintain her own health. So she's also quite a bit more aggressive feeder with that bite response. So, oh, I almost fell off my stool as I'm sitting here doing my voiceover, my video over anyway. Repashy Grub Pie is not the only thing that I try to hand feed these guys with. I will pinch the heads of super mealworms and do that. I will hand feed them crickets. Flukers makes a product called soldier worms, which is actually huge soldier fly larvae maggots. They're very high in calcium, and Bella particularly loves the soldier worms. Gimli, not so much. Now, these guys have huge heads and powerful jaws, and in nature, in Cuba, they eat snails, shell and all. That's part of their natural diet. You know, live snails. I don't know where to get them. If somebody knows where to get them in southeastern United States, let me know. I hear maybe like Asian or Latin American food markets might have them on occasion, but then you run the risk of bringing parasites in. I've tried Zoo Med's can of snails. Sometimes they would take them. Here lately, they have not been taking them. Those products, all those canned products, have expiration dates printed on the bottom of the cans, and so I certainly don't use anything that's been expired. But I don't know if they've changed up their formula. They're putting a new additive or preservative on it. But as of late, nobody seems to be liking the Zoo Med can of snails. And I think just right there, I was highlighting the scales on the bottom of her dewlap, because these guys are also called bearded anoles, and that's why that's how they get their name. There's protrusions on the bottom of the dewlap. They're very, very impressive. Now I got a chunk of grub pie on my finger there that I didn't notice. But the goal is not to stress them out. That's not what I want to do. So I just want to get them to eat some, and when they really, really start getting fussy about it, I go ahead and put them back in the enclosure. All right, I think I'm going to try to get her to get another bite here. And now she's got a mouthful, so let's go ahead and put her back. And then here in a second, I'm going to pick up the camera. And the camera I'm using is a DJI Pocket 2, and it's the camera with the built-in gimbal and everything, so I'm still getting used to it. It still wants to behave a little wonky for me. I haven't worked out all the bugs, so bear with me if it seems to veer off unexpectedly like it just did there. So their enclosure is it's bioactive, live plant, got the substrate, got the drainage layer, that foam background I made. I did a video of putting this thing together. That plant is in need of a trim, I realize that. But she laid, I think I hatched 6 or 7 babies out of this enclosure. It is a small, tall Exoterra. It's 24 inches tall, 18 inches at the base. Moisture and drinking water and humidity is through a Mist King, those double spray nozzles, and I just pointed out that the basking area is a 25 watt Zilla halogen mini dome lamp, and lighting is power compact, 2 power compact Zoo Med bulbs 5.0s. They're 13 watts, and I think there's a larger wattage that I need to go to. I don't know that the 13 watts is kicking off enough light for them, but that is their enclosure. That is Bella, the female, Gimli, the male. And here in a moment, we're going to look at the 2 juveniles, 2 of the babies that they hatched. I'm keeping back the female, who I'll show you first here in 1 second. And I don't know if you guys heard that noise that just went off. That was the Mist King on the cages behind me. But this is the little girl, little female that I'm going to keep back. And I'm going to try to pair her with a male that I have. I'll show you him in just a second. And here in a second, I think I'm going to talk about how she lost a tip of her tail. I had her and some of her siblings together, and I think somebody gave her a nip when she was tiny, like within days. So, I mean, she seems to be fine. She's eating good. She will take the snails more better than anybody. Small chunk of snail. So she is doing excellent, and she's just in a grow out enclosure right now, one of the little nano reptibreezes. Here's her brother, or one of her brothers. She was the only female out of all the ones I had, or at least I had 2 females, and the rest of them were males. I don't know if I'm going to keep this little guy back or if I'm going to offer him up for sale, but he is doing awesome as well. He does not like snails at all, but he will destroy crickets and destroy mealworms and superworms. So he is doing good, and he is a feisty little bugger, but a handsome little man. He's about all of, I don't know, 7 inches. So he's just like the little female is. And now we'll go over here and see Mork. I don't know if you guys remember, I thought I had a Mork and a Mindy. Mindy turned out to be a male. So Mork is by himself, and I'll probably name that other little girl that I'm keeping back Mindy Jr. or Mindy the Second. But Mork is an animal that I got from Pet Paradise in Virginia Beach. And obviously I don't know his lineage. So I doubt that they'll be related, which is good, because my Bella and Gimli were both mail order. I got them from 2 separate hobbyists from other states, and obviously the little female that's going to go with him I bred myself. So hopefully they're not related, but you know, these exotic denoles in the hobby don't know the lineage of how they got started, the beginning stock. So anyways, we're gonna hook him up and see what happens. He's got a T5 high output Zoom Ed bulb, a 25 watt Zilla basking spot, and a Mist King for moisture and humidity. So just sharing with you guys. Whoops. So just sharing with you guys my Cuban false chameleons, Anolis barbatus. Hopefully you like this video. Take these glasses off. Nah, leave the glasses on. I need readers. I can't see anything close up. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave me a message. Like the video, share the video if you want to. Ring that bell if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And until next time, take care.